Thank you so much for this morning. Thank you for this Sabbath rest that you have given us. Thank you for bringing everybody safe. We know it's raining right now, but I just want to ask you to bless people that are coming. And I just want to ask you to please bless this message that it will empower members of the church to do the work that you designed to open the way and bring the community into the church. Okay, so I think everybody that is here was here yesterday? No. Okay. Okay, my name is Ballard, and I'm the director of a lifestyle center. It's called Years Restored, that we opened up in 2013. So I'm gonna show you quickly here if this is working. I pointed here.
Turn it around. There you go. Okay. Is the switch on?
No. Okay. Okay, so this is where we are. This is the lifestyle center. It's a big house that is a sanitarium. So, you know, we've been counseled to have sanitariums like houses, right? Houses where people come, they feel comfortable. And so that's what we did. We opened up this center in 2013. And as you see, there is a lot of trees here. Probably it's like a forest there, and a lot of water. So that's what I was asking God to give us a place that had a lot of trees, a lot of water, and it's not a flat place. I didn't want a flat place, but just like have little mountains, things like that. So, but in the year 2000, when the pandemic started, Dr. Joyce and I started a podcast. It's called the Missionary Podcast on Saturdays at 3 p.m. And we just wanted, with everything that was happening, we wanted to have people feel comfortable talking about what is going on because there was some issues, you know, in other places. So we opened up this podcast and we brought, you know, we spoke about, or even speak now, about issues that are very relevant for these times. So pretty soon we realized that people really need to be trained about the medical missionary work with everything that's happening, with the pandemic that, you know, just we went through, and then with the pandemics that are happening. So we start this medical missionary training. It's called Med Missionary, and it's online. And so people have signed up from all over the world. So we have a sliding scale, so every country can sign up for this course. So we have people from South Africa, from Asia, all kind of countries signing up. So they've been doing God's work after they do the training. This training is about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, but 6 weeks alive. So we come on Sunday mornings and 2 hours live with very practical material, because we realize that God's people need something practical, not just talk, not just lectures, but they need how to eat a therapeutic inflammatory diet, how to use a protocol with the super healing foods that God has given us. So we have that, and the day one, where we train people is how to do an evaluation on a lifestyle evaluation. So they learn how to do it, what labs are necessary to do it, to be able to realize that the inflammation markers that they're, so it's very comprehensive. And then Sunday 2, what we do, we train them with the diet, a specific menu. It's not just like you eat this, and that. It is a menu that we give them. What do you eat exactly for breakfast? What do you eat exactly for lunch? Because we realize that people do not know how it's balanced, how it's to be a balanced breakfast, a balanced lunch. So it has to be something very specific, following all the principles that God has given us. You know, do you know there is so many principles God has given us through the spirit prophecy how to eat right? So we put all those principles, and then we have a schedule what times to eat, because, you know, we're not supposed to eat meals every 2 hours, every 3 hours, every 4 hours, or just snacking. And just, you know, so our digestive system works super hard, and our digestive system, you know, takes so much energy. So you have to rest. So we being canceled, how many hours apart, what time you eat dinner, if you eat dinner, things like that. So all those principles we put in a schedule. This is the time that you eat. If you eat 2 meals, this is how many, if you eat 3 meals, this is the time, because you cannot eat too late. So when we eat 3 meals, we have to start eating really early in the morning. And of course, there's, you know, the saying, right, that you eat breakfast like a king, right? And then, you know, lunch is a little less, and dinner, you don't eat it, or you just eat fruits and perhaps something that is very easy to digest at night. So that is what we do. So Sunday 3, we use the protocol. The protocol is the super healing foods that God has given us. So it's very specific foods. Do you know the onion is super anti-inflammatory? So what we do is we do a broth, a concentrated onion with concentrated garlic, and we cook it with water. And that concentration of that broth, we drink it. That's part of the protocol. And that decreases inflammation. Some people have a lot of muscle pain. There is a question?
I didn't understand your first word. You said this particular thing is very anti-inflammatory.
Onion.
Right.
Onion.
Onion. Okay.
Yeah, onion. Okay. So this onion broth with garlic, people that have a lot of muscle pain, you know, they drink it in good amounts, and then in a few days the pain is gone. But of course, we have to follow the diet and the full protocol in order to not put in, you know, add inflammation to your body. So we do that. Then we have another drink that we do is garlic, lemon, and a little water, because we're not supposed to eat liquid with meals. We blend it, and then we eat it with meals. And we do this because we want to balance the bacteria. Remember last night we talked about there's 3 problems. One is inflammation, one is dysbiosis, the bacteria is unbalanced, and one is leaky gut. And somebody was asking me, you have to explain what is leaky gut. So leaky gut is when there is a part of our small intestine, especially the duodenum, where we absorb the food. We absorb it throughout the whole, even the colon, you absorb liquids, some stuff, but especially in the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine. And when there's so much inflammation, it starts leaking. So the proteins that are not, particles that are not well digested, go through that, to those holes that are leaking. So they ended up in any part of the body, and start causing sensitivities. So that's what's leaky gut. So it's a serious thing. So for that, you know, that onion broth helps healing the leaky gut. Remember bone broth? You heard about bone broth, the paleo? They say that's good for leaky gut. Well, this is our broth for leaky gut. So we had to come up with something that God created that's super healing, right? Another thing that we do is we do aloe vera in certain concentrations, and we prepare it, remove the bitterness, we soaked it, and that aloe also brings healing to the leaky gut, to all the inflammation, the ulcers, inflammation in the digestive system, and also the leaky gut. So that's another part. Another thing that we add in our protocol is turmeric. So turmeric in 1 or 2 teaspoons for breakfast, because turmeric is super good with fat. So with fat, you absorb 59 point something more than even cook. Because when you cook it, you absorb like 8 times better. But when you do with fat, which at breakfast we have, you know, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, coconuts, we add it into our smoothies. So then that is the fat. So we put a little bit in our smoothie, the turmeric. So that's super healing. You know, this is a super anti-inflammatory. It helps with pain also. And we have a few other things that we use in our protocol. Very simple, but super healing. So this is what we teach you week 3. Week 4, Sunday 4 is about natural remedies. So we just teach them how to do, what to do for this condition or this other condition. How do you use the all these poultices for nerve pain, for insomnia, for wounds, for joint pains and things like that. So those are natural remedies. We will be talking about it this afternoon. So we teach them that on week 4. Week 5, we talk about how, what do we do when, people are still sick? People improve, but all of a sudden they don't continue improving. We want people to recover 100%. Because, God is a God of total restoration, right? So if we follow these principles and we're faithful following these principles, we should expect that we're going to have full restoration. And we've seen that. We've seen people being sick for 30 years, 40 years, and they totally restore. People have been super sick with any stage of organs, systems. So, so that's what we do week 5. We teach them what to do with people that kind of stuck and not improving, so what to do with difficult conditions. And the last week, week 6, that is a live program on Sundays, what we do, we teach them how to help others, how to do coaching to others. So now that you know what to do with all the practical things, now you can help others, because when God gives you restoration, it's not just for yourself, it's to share to others and to help others, and that's the power of the health message. Amen. Once you have testimony, you just can wait, you're just gonna wanna tell everybody else. So we're gonna talk about the medical missionary work today. Until what time we have, Pastor? I just want to be sure. What time do I stop? 10:45. 10:45. Okay. Okay. So during Jesus' ministry, what did he do when he came to this world? In the Ministry of Healing, page 19, it says, during his ministry, Jesus devoted more time to healing the sick than preaching. Isn't it here example? So we need to, how can we help somebody, give them the message when they're sick? They cannot concentrate, they're just, barely surviving. So we need to help them, bring healing, teach them all these principles, and they're going to ask you. You don't even have to push it or anything like that. They're going to want to know what you're all about, what are the Seventh-day Adventist Church is all about. As I said last night, this lady just came for a potluck, but when the lady was sitting next to her, she said, oh, you have arthritis. Oh, you had to do this program. We help people with autoimmune disorders. You had to do this program. The lady recovered, and then she got baptized. And because she wanted to learn more about our message. So this is what Jesus did. So Jesus brought healing to people, and people want to follow, right? Want to follow. So this is very, very friendly message. Christ medical missionary. Christ was a medical missionary. In every sense of the word, Christ was a medical missionary. He came to this world to preach the gospel and to heal the sick. He came as a healer of the bodies as well as the soul of human beings. His message was that obedience to the laws of the kingdom of God would bring men and women health and prosperity. So God wants to give us a full restoration. What good will be if you have a good body, you're healthy physically, but you feel lost because you don't have peace because you don't have God, right? It's very important that we do not forget the gospel component. And in our trainings online, what we do, we have Brother Dale, an incredible delivery of the gospel message. And he has this incredible message, that he combined the gospel and the health message. And, the people that sign up that are not from our denomination, they just embrace the message and they just become medical missionaries. Very, very active Seventh-day Adventist people. We have this lady that it was her aunt or nieces, but they're the same age, that for years she kind of, told her about the church and things like that, but, she never took interest. But then she got so sick. So her relatives said, you had to follow this program. So she did follow the program, and she started losing weight, and her pain isn't going away because she was walking with a walker. She had a surgery, couldn't recover. The knee was hurting her. And then she started improving. Her pain was going. She started losing weight. She lost, I think by now, 30 pounds in a short time, not that long. And so after that, because the relative was helping her, the relative said, join this program. Because, this is the health message. So she joined it. She was so excited. She followed everything faithfully. And she had an incredible transformation. So this lady, we interviewed her. She gave us a testimony in a graduation. And so we asked, we did a interview, just a full-hour interview on Sabbath afternoon. You can see it on Med Missionary, one word, Med Missionary on YouTube. You can see the testimony. And so we were talking to her, I'm so excited about helping people to recover just like I recover. And so at the end, I said, are you thinking perhaps doing Bible studies? Oh yeah, I would love to do Bible studies. I put her on the spot. We had a lot of people following. Yeah, I like to do it. Okay, I'll find you somebody to do Bible studies. This lady was 90 minutes where I live, 90 minutes because I live in the mountains, it's 90 minutes to Sacramento. So she lives in Sacramento. Okay, I'll find you something. So next weekend, I found a friend that does Bible studies. So, and I said, okay, I'm going to come. I'm going to come visit you. So it's Friday night, and my friend is going to come. So my friend came. I came late because I had to do another appointment in another city for a weekend, having lectures. And so she came, did the Bible study, so I came. Guess what? The relative that lives in Florida flew just to meet me because I'm coming. She just flew so I opened the door and it was just like a feast. We hung, we met forever. It was just such a sweet atmosphere. We can see the Holy Spirit. We were just so enjoying, all this fellowship. I didn't know the ladies before, but because, we know she's just so hungry about following God's ways and things like that. So anyhow, we had a conversation, and there we were sitting, and we were saying, we can do cooking school here in your house. You can invite the community. Yes, we can do that. So we all very happy. And then we saying, well, we might as well do Bible studies since you're inviting the community to do cooking school. And she said, yes, let's do that. So I said, okay, I'll come for your first cooking school. We invite the community, we'll make flyers, and we pass flyers around it. And she was so excited. And the friend from Florida said, okay, and I'll come back again. And then so we called Dr. Joyce because we were just so excited about this new lady that just started the first Bible study. And she said, so we put it there and telling her what was happening, what we're going to do. And she said, well, we're going to do cooking school, and I'm coming to help with the first one. And she said, I think I need to come too. And we are happy that we all going to unite and do these evangelistic meetings in the community. Can you believe? A lady that just going to start doing Bible studies. So this is an incredible, friendly way to bring salvation to the church and also to the community. So that's what's going to happen, because this is just something recent that happened. But and another thing that happened is her son was going to he come and live with the mom, and he's a chef. So we said, okay, we'll train him, so he's gonna be the one that is gonna be teaching this. You know, he didn't even know that, but I said, we're gonna pray that he's willing to do that. And the mom was so happy, and he was willing to do Bible studies also, and things like that. So anyhow, you know, I can tell you a lot of stories, and you can watch on YouTube all these miracles that have happened. So it is just so exciting. When you do active medical missionary work, it's just incredible. You're going to see God's miracles. Okay, this is what's going to open the doors in the large cities. Henceforth, medical missionary work is to be the carrier forward with an earnestness with which it has never yet been carried. This work is the door through which the truth is to be found entrance to the large cities. So we had in Michigan, there was this pastor and the wife that invited us there. So they wanted us to be in a big auditorium. So they invited the whole community, and then they also did in another town in a hotel. So we went there, it was full. And everybody was so interested about this. And then we went to the hotel, and we served meals. We teach them how to do meals, and we served these meals. It was full. Excuse me. And so, so you can tell it's such a friendly way to open the doors. And they did a follow-up. So they learn about, you know, we have a cookbook where we have recipes. So they have a person that does this regularly, so they were going to use the recipes. So they announce, okay, you come back, we're going to teach you how to eat this way. So they have follow-up with these people, because you don't want to do work and just let go, right? So the work is for nothing. So you really want to follow up. And a couple of those people I did coaching, because that's what I do for a living also. I help people with very difficult conditions, and I do 10 hours of follow-up weekly, 1 hour weekly. So these two difficult conditions, non-Adventist people, I start helping them. So I, you know, pray with them every time. I always bring them, you know, tell them God is the source of healing, things like that. So these people become really, really spiritual. We shall see the medical missionary work broadening and deepening at every point of its progress, because of the inflowing of hundreds and thousands of streams, until the whole earth is covered as the water covered the sea. So how far this work should go? It should infiltrate every part of the world, right? So how is this going to happen if we don't all get involved? If all will get involved, you know, this is going to happen. This is actually my favorite passage from about the medical missionary work, because I say, wow, God really wants us to go every way in the world, and God is telling us that we should do this work. That means that it's possible, right? It means that it's possible. So when I was, you know, doing lifestyle, I'm still doing that. You know, very influential people will come to our lifestyle center, and I kind of want to team up with somebody to team up and bring this missionary work to the world, because nobody's really focusing on the diseases of these times, like autoimmune disorders. So I wanted, you know, New Age is all over. The functional medicine, which is the paleo, is all over. How come we're not all over? God has given us this. We should be the head. So I was always waiting for somebody to team up with somebody and bring this message to the world. But not until Dr. Joyce came to our facility in January 2016. She loves praying, and I love praying. So every night we just pray while she was there for the 10 days. And so we were impressed that we should work together, joint efforts. So that was a super blessing. That's when we start the podcast, we start the training. So we decided, okay, let's do this training. And we did. So God has blessed us, because I went through a lot of countries of the world, And now we want to go. We know that this is going to be the open way to the 1040 window. Do you know that 58% of the world has not heard about Jesus or has not heard about the message? They're not Christians. It's a huge number, 52%. Because I went to, or 48 or 52. This person, we went to GYC, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and this person that works for AFM was showing me all these countries have not been touched with the message. So, yes.
You may want to tell what those acronyms are. So
Do you know the AFM, what it stands for? Can you tell us?
Adventist Frontier Missions.
Adventist Frontier Missions.
GYC, Generation of Youth for Christ.
Generation Youth for Christ. Okay, so these Adventist Frontier Missions, they try to go into this 1040, but there's not many people that want to go because they can be killed bringing the message. So we start thinking, well, we can do it through the health message, right? And it's online, so missionaries are not going to be killed, so they might shut us down. Some days they are going to shut us down, but as long as we can do the work, we can do it. So that's why right now we're working on translating in the Arabic language, which are many countries, Muslim countries and other countries. And also we decided to go China because it's a communist country that it's very hard to get the message there. But if we go through the health message with autoimmune, there's so many people sick there, so the message can go there. So right now we already translating in China. In 2 weeks our book will be ready, and then we'll go into having translate our program. And then Arabic is just in the initial stage. So the disciples came to Jesus, and they said, as they sat, and they said, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So what did Jesus say? And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Aren't we there? See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nations shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences. We experience that, right? And we know there's countries that a lot of people are dying because there is famines. There's earthquakes more than ever. And all these are the beginning of sorrows. So we are there, friends. We are there. And so what do we need to do? What is our duties right now? Right now we need to be familiar to how to help people, because things are going to get worse. We are told that in time of trouble, there will be sick ones, plenty of them that will need help. So because of the need, but also for their own sake, they should, while they have opportunity, become intelligent in regard to disease, its causes, prevention, and cure. And those who will do this will find a field of labor anywhere. We need medical missionaries. And there will be sick ones, plenty of them. Are we there? Do you know one family that's healthy? You hardly can find one family that's healthy. It's always something that is going on. The advice that we have given is that we become intelligent in regard of the disease, cause, prevention, and cure. And God has given us that. All that information is in the finger of our tips. When I had a conversion experience in 2008, I started reading anything and everything from the Spirit Prophecy about health. And every principle that I found, I will type it. I say, meals, 5 hours between meals. Okay, 5 minutes in the quote. 2 meals a day, better than 3 meals a day. Do the third meal if you have to do it. Okay, 2 meals a day. You're not supposed to mix fruits and vegetables. Okay, type down. So all those principles, I start writing and writing. I'm still, if I find some principle that I'm not aware of, I still write it down. So all these principles, what is the best combination? They are there in those books. So we have been giving every detail to survive in these times. These are survival times because the toxicity that we have in this world, it is so bad that we will not survive. I mean, cancer is all over, right? Autoimmune disorder is all over. So we need to learn how to not just survive in these times, but thrive. We can thrive at these times. We can. Because God is going to give us every detail to thrive in these very difficult times. But this is not just for ours, but this is to help other people. Every church member should be engaged in some line of service for the master. Some cannot do, can do so much as others, but everyone should do his what? Utmost to roll back the tide of disease and distress that is sweeping over our world. Many would be willing to work if they were taught how to begin. They need to be instructed and encouraged. So this is good, right? Because a lot of people, yeah, I'm willing, but I don't know how. That's why we do training, so you will know how. But it says here too that we should do all that is in our power to help people that are suffering, right? That's why Jesus didn't go and didn't attend the need of somebody that was suffering. So how come we can go in life and not be instructed to do this and help people that are suffering? So it's very important that we become very knowledgeable about helping people that are sick. We have come to a time where every member of the church should take hold of medical missionary work. This message was given over 100 years ago, so you will little behind. The world is a laser house filled with victims of both physical and spiritual disease. You know what people appreciate the most? Once they recover physically, but they just love the mental recovery, the mental and the spiritual. So we're helping, somebody from South Africa was taking our course. So he had a very good testimony. I said, can I interview you? I like to interview people that have these incredible success stories, so to encourage other people. And she said, so I pre-interviewed him and I said, wow, this is just amazing. He was sick since he was in his 20s with leaky gut, a lot of digestive issues. And so that's what he was taking the course because, this is going to help me, my digestive issues. So it did help the digestive issues. The leaky gut was gone and he didn't have any more loose stools and pain and bloating, things like that. But then he said, that's not the best part. So what is the best part? My anxiety and depression that I suffered since I was teenager is gone. Isn't it amazing? Because, the nutrients don't reach the brain because, we have this disease digestive system that's affecting us with anxiety and depression and imbalance of the chemicals because we're not digesting. We have leaky gut. Remember what I say, what is leaky gut? The particles go undigested and ended up also in the brain. And then this is causing a disease of the brain. So a lot of research that's coming, even schizophrenia, is linked to leaky gut. It's linked to the imbalance of the bacteria, dysbiosis, leaky gut, and inflammation. So guess what? If we take care of inflammation, only eating anti-inflammatory foods, and if we take care of the leaky gut with these foods that I mentioned, and then if we take care of our dysbiosis by also eating properly to build up the beneficial bacteria and decrease the pathogenic bacteria, then we recover. So it is a simple thing to do, but we had to put it in practice. We had to be faithful, following all this. In new fields, no work is so successful as medical missionary work. If our ministers would work earnestly to obtain an education in medical missionary lines, they would be far better fitted to do the work Christ did as a medical missionary. So, this is not just to give the work to the pastors, but this is every member should be involved, right? Doing this work. Imagine how many people from the community will come to the church. You will have to find a church that's super big, just doing this work. The right arm. The right arm is used to open the door through which the body may find entrance. This is a part the medical missionary work is to act. It is to largely prepare the way for the reception of the truth for this time. It is so true. It is so true that this really opens the way. One time, I was training our director for the Spanish course, because we have Spanish, Romanian, English, and we just started. We will start it this Sunday, the Portuguese language. And I was training the Spanish director, and she came to our lifestyle center. So we went shopping. So we had these 2 carts full of just vegetables, huge. And then we had 2 cars, and the other 2 full. So I went to get the car, and one lady said, "What are you going to do with all those vegetables?" "Oh, we're going to eat it and juice it. We help people that are sick." "Oh, I need that. I was just diagnosed with cancer." So I said, "Well, take her email. You can coach her, help her to recover." So easy, right? They come and ask you. You don't even have to say sometimes things. And then when we went to the other store to find more supplies for our detox that we're going to start, this lady had a growth in her mouth here. So I said, "Do you mind giving you a remedy for that?" "Oh, yeah, please, please." So she got a paper. So I said, you put a little onion layer, tape it in there, and put it every night. It's going to eat that growth. Onion is amazing for different things. So we got her, "Can we get your email so we can help you? Because, there is an underlying cause of that." "Oh, yeah, I know. I have a lot of inflammation. I really need help." So see how I open the doors so easily? So anybody that tells you, "Oh, I'm having pain," "Oh, I would love to help you with that. I just got a training or something, or I got better from whatever condition it is." It just opens the doors so fast. So it is the right arm of the gospel. The world must have an antidote for sin. As a medical missionary works intelligently to receive suffering and save life, hearts are softened. Those who are helped are filled with gratitude. As a medical missionary works upon the body, God works upon the heart. Isn't that amazing? We had a lady that came. She was from India, but she lived here for many years, and she was trying to find the truth. So she tried Buddha. And she said, "Oh, that didn't work for me. You had to be sitting for hours and hours and doing nothing. That just didn't work for me." And so this lady, every morning we do devotionals, and we talk about the medical missionary work. They don't know nothing about Christianity or anything, but we just talk about the medical missionary work. Guess what? This lady told me, can you find me a ministry of healing? I want that one, and I want the Council of Health." "Okay, sure." So I found those books, and I gave her a Bible with all the quotes from Ellen G. White, a big Bible, $100. So I gave it to her, and she was so happy. And when she went there, "I'm going to find a church because I need to go to the church." And so she went to the church. Sadly, nobody was friendly to her. This church is so friendly, which I was telling the pastor. Very sweet church. and she was saying, yeah, I need to find another church because I don't think they're very active medical missionaries. So she thought that all the Adventists are medical missionaries. So help me find another church that are medical missionaries. But anyhow, she said, I'm going to open a lifestyle center in 2024, and my next lifestyle center is going to be in 2025 because she has two houses, two different places, and like, wow, it's really going ahead. So this really opens the way because, this lady had very serious arthritis, very debilitating that you cannot hardly move and you walk like this. So this lady started recovering, the pain started going away. And so now she want to help people, right? Her condition, that nobody could help her. She was suffering for about 20 years. So this was such a blessing. And of course, you give them so much love that, they want to follow the God that you follow. So they want to know about the word. The Lord has given me light that when the Israel of today humble themselves before him and cleanse the soul temple from all defilement. What does this mean? Anybody? This is Sabbath school, so you can talk. When cleanse the soul temple from all defilement. What does that mean? No? No idols. Okay, good. No idols. What else defiles the body?
In the book of Daniel, they didn't want to become contaminated, so they said we don't want to eat the food and drink the drinks there. And the Bible does tell us that the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Exactly. So that's what the answer was. I was looking for defiles. What we eat can defile our body, or it can heal our body. So the choice is ours, right? What we choose to eat. So, when I recovered, I decided I never go back to what I was eating healthy. But there was some foods that I didn't know they were contaminated, that were making me sick. But I decided I'll never go back to those foods. Never, ever. Because God has given me my life back. I don't want to defile my body again, right? So we decided, did a lot of research, as I was saying last night, a lot of research, okay, what is the spirit prophecy said? That's the real science, right, that God has given us. That's the real science. I'm going to follow everything and anything the spirit prophecy said. And I'm going to back up with the science, not the other way around. And so decided, I studied a lot about processed foods. Processed foods defile our body. Processed foods destroy our body. Processed foods are chemicals. God did not design these chemicals, for food. And so I realized, what are these processed foods? One of the number one foods, processed foods, are something that almost everybody is eating. And they're crunchy and it's just good. Anybody, any guess? Chips. Chips are very processed, and it's not just processed, it's ultra processed. It's oils with chemicals, and so there is so many. I have a class that with just processed foods about all these chemicals, how they destroy it. I'm just going to tell you very shortly. Anybody heard about AGE? Advanced glycation end products. Very good. That is what raises inflammation. And when you have so much inflammation, you disease. And when somebody dies, they have very high levels of AGE. How do you get high levels of AGE? Is eating these processed foods. It's usually a mixture of fat and protein, combined, heated in high temperatures, dry high temperatures. What are the chips? They're fried, very high temperatures. What did they put in there? It can put corn. Corn has certain percentage of protein, and then we have the fat, right? So it raises the AGE high, and then when you have high levels of AGE, guess what? You ended up with cancer, you ended up with autoimmune disorder, you ended up with autism, you ended up with the serious diseases, neuro diseases like Parkinson, things like that. So that's when you have very high levels of AGE. So you can be plant-based, but you can be eating very unhealthy plant-based. Because what do? They do a lot of oils and sugars to make it taste good, a lot of chemicals for the taste, and they put a lot of MSG in these foods. So there's pretty much, when you go to the restaurants, what do you find in the restaurants? They're going to put a lot of MSG. They're not going to give you organic. It's too expensive. They have to put very flavors, so a lot of oil, and the oil they refry, they use over and over. So this is high levels of AGE, which is the huge inflammation for us to end up with cancer. You know, sometimes the sad thing is that once they found cancer, sometimes it's end stage. Sometimes it's just too late. My daughter's best friend's father just passed away. It was end stage liver disease. He only lived 2 months. He was healthy before. So it is, so it's something to think about. So to choose like Daniel, right? I would not defile myself. And it's incredible how Daniel, young teenager, decided they can kill me, but I'm going to follow God. I'm going to follow whatever God has for me and not defile myself. Or I can choose all the wealth of the world because they were going to be the princes of this, you know, it was kind of like United States, right, Babylon. And, but he decided, I'm not going to defile myself. I'm going to do anything that God wants me to do. So that's, you know, is what defilement means here. He will hear the prayers in behalf of the sick and will bless in the use of his remedies for disease. When in faith, the human agent does all he can to combat disease. So we have to, our part to do, right? So we have to do everything and anything humanly possible when we're sick. When in faith, the human agent does all he can to combat disease using the simple methods of treatment that God has provided. His efforts will be blessed of God. Praise the Lord, right? There is hope. There is hope. We just have to study. We have to become conscious. We have to ask God to give us the power because we don't have the power. A lot of people are dying. They decided they rather to die than eat healthy. That's what's happening. You know, my husband had a, you know, previous marriage had a son, 2 sons. The first son ate only junk, you know, in solder. And one day, he just came from eating out, and he fell to the floor dead. Can you believe that? So young, no warning, anything. He just died, heart attack. The second son, this is very painful and very sad. The second son was given 2 years to live. So we were trying to help him because we have a lifestyle center. And I said, we can come and help you, you know, put a plan. So, you know, even people, remember last night, there was this lady that was given 4 hours to 4 days to live, and she recovered, right? In, you know, 2 months, hospice said, you don't need us anymore. So we said, okay, we're going to help you. And they didn't want to, nothing to do with the plant-based, you know. And so he survived, you know, the 3rd year, he got sick again. He was sick with medications and all kind of things. They gave him 1 month to live. So I thought, okay, now he's going to want us to help him, right? Because it's only 1 month to live. So I told my husband, okay, I'll do all the cooking, and I'll do juicing, I'll do everything that we do. So you go every day and bring it to him. You know, this is a lot of work, you know, to do. But of course, somebody so close. We're gonna do anything, whatever we can, right? So my husband presented to him. I said, "Can we help you? We're willing to do this." And no, can you believe? So only by the power of God we can do this, because the flesh is it's just we want to follow our own thing. So we just have to ask God to give us the power, because we don't have it on our own. So we just have to ask God and, get close to him, and God is going to give us the desire to do his will. Anyhow, in 2 weeks, one day, he woke up and he said, something is wrong. He's about 40-something year old. Something is wrong. So he came down the stairs. The wife called 911. That the day that happened, he went to eat pizza. Pizza is super, super high on AGE. Pizza. And so that night, he says something is very wrong. So the wife called 911, and he died the next morning. So these are very sad stories, but when we are connected with God, God can give us the power, and the impossible is going to happen. And we can recover, and we can not just recover, but as I say, we can thrive. And as we give our life to God, God is going to do amazing things, because your life is going to become so exciting, more exciting than any time in your whole life. Because it's going to be like, whoa, when you hear all these miracles, all these stories, your life is never going to be the same. And you're going to want to keep doing God's work and doing what God has for you.
So last night we talked about glyphosate.
Mm-hmm.
So even lentils have glyphosate. So are there lentils that don't, or like other legumes that don't? And what about Loma Linda products like big friends, scallops, that we grew up with them?
Okay, so we choose, in our protocols, we choose to eat organic. Maybe 95% is organic. Certain foods that have big skin, we don't, but for the most part, it's organic. So we do not choose non-organic lentils, because it's going to be, if it doesn't have glyphosate, it's going to have pesticides, things like that, that's going to create problems to the DNA level. So that's why the cancer comes, things like that. So we don't do that. And how about Loma Linda products? By the way, Loma Linda doesn't sell them anymore. Somebody else took over. We don't do any processed foods at all. These processed foods, plant-based processed foods, can be worse than even the other foods, because they had to put a lot of flavor to it. So they're extremely, incredibly unhealthy. So we don't use any processed foods of any kind. If we're going to do our own veggie meats, we do our own from scratch. Everything is from scratch. Everything that we eat, we know, what is in it. But I just pray that, God bless everybody here with a lot of health and healing, and empowers you to do his work. So we're going to finish with a word of prayer. If I can ask you to stand up, and so we can finish with a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much, because you have the answers for the impossible. And you have the answers for these times where the world is so incredibly toxic. We can still be healthy because you need us healthy to do your work. And I just want to ask you that you bless this congregation with healing. You bless this congregation with knowledge. You bless this congregation with everything is needed to spread the world this health message that you have given us. That's going to bring salvation to many people, that especially this church will be perhaps a way to show other churches that the health message that you have given us is to bring salvation, and that many people can be brought to you. So I just want to ask you that empower all of us to continue doing your work. And somehow, perhaps, some people might not be able to do full time, but sometimes some people might be able to do full time. Some people might be able to do part time, but in different capacities, perhaps. So I just want to ask you that give us all the heart to be wanting to serve you, to be wanting to finish your work, because the time is short. So I just want to ask you to bless us all to move forward, and to also ask you that you bless with meeting all the needs of this congregation, to be able to move forward and do whatever it takes to finish your work in this earth. Thank you so much because you have given us all the tools. In Jesus' name, amen.
Good morning, happy Sabbath to each one. We are so glad that you can be here this morning and join us as we worship God and learn more about Him, His beautiful ways, and how He wants us to harmonize with all of nature. We are so happy to have Mercy and Joyce with us. We have been blessed so far in a very powerful way as they share from their heart. Isn't that beautiful? When someone is in what they're preaching and teaching, to me it's kind of contagious. I can listen to them all day because it's so real, and it's something that we really, really need so much at this time. We really need it at this time. There's many, many people who need help, and God has sent us Mercy and Joyce, and we are so thankful for that. I'd like to welcome each and every one. Anyone here for the first time? Anyone here for the first time? Welcome. Brother R, welcome, welcome. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. I know we were working on some of the translation equipment. I don't know if that's ready, but do we have someone to translate? Have we had a volunteer? So if you can translate for us from English to Spanish, that would be helpful for those who are Spanish speaking that are here this morning. All right, very good, very good. And so there are some announcements on the right-hand side of the bulletin. And so I'm just going to highlight a couple of them. One of them is that we have fellowship dinner after our service, and so please stay and we can eat together and enjoy a healthy meal. Also, we want to mention that we have had 3 days of prayer, and today is day 4 of our 10 days of prayer. And so what we want to do is, since we have a special program today, we want to meet for prayer, specifically to follow the 10-day of prayer program. We want to do that at 5:45 today. And so I know that there's going to be a question and answer session. I know there's going to be, that's going to be pretty active. But we want to go from 5:45, we're going to do our prayer time. So if you have a prayer request and want to continue to follow on a program that we started, we're going to meet at 5:45 here in the